Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, Dracula. And also, let's please welcome our special guest for tonight, Bonnie. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew pew! Lasers! Greetings and salutations.
What am I thinking? Things happen when she's on the show, but yet I bring her back on every time.
Amazing.
But again, in my defense, I don't have her and Lessa on at the same time.
Well, all right. I will agree that you did not do that this time.
Yeah.
Really bad things happen then.
It's been just long enough, though, that you've kind of, forgotten what it was like last time and the time for that and the time for that.
Yeah, well, things happen. It's all right. But welcome. We're glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Welcome back. And it is time for us then to look at the DDO Chronicle, issue 299. Does that mean we have to bring out the fireworks next week?
Sure.
Yeah, for issue number 300.
That is kind of amazing that they have done 300 issues of these. But just think that means that Cordovan, since he did most of these, he's not doing it anymore. Olive U's doing it now. But Cordovan had to come up with, 280-something questions?
That's a lot of questions.
That's a lot of questions if you look at it that way.
I suppose so. Now, why doesn't Olive U sign these like she does with the beacon?
I don't know. I wondered that.
Therefore, we have issue number 299. Why no signage from Olive?
Exactly. Olive, why don't you sign the Chronicle?
And we look at this, and I'm trying to figure out. Now, this is probably from one of the new places. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. It's a bit dark. So.
I would say it's probably from one of the new quests, but I haven't ran them really enough to jump right out. So I'm not sure. We'll just go, it's from one of the new quests.
Yes, it's from one of the new quests.
If it's one of the new quests, I would guess it's kind of a big deal. But it reminds me of one of those quests in the harbor where you have to steal a gem from a kobold hideout. It's not that, but it reminds me of it.
Oh yeah, it does kind of remind you of that quest a little bit. I agree.
The one that I've never succeeded in completing.
Stealthy repossession, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've only ever did it one time successfully, maybe, and that was just like by some weird twist of lucky fate or something that I actually did it.
You were lucky?
Yeah, once, and then never again. So see, I used it all up in that dumb quest.
All right, what's in the news?
Well, we do have our community spotlight. There was a player named Clavers, has a best screenshot of September contest up. You can win 500 DDO points. All you got to do is go over into the forum thread and find out how to submit your screenshot. And, of course, win yourself the 500 DDO points. The theme this time is white after Labor Day.
Some of the screenshots that they've had for that are amazing.
Yes, they are.
As someone who cannot take screenshots.
That's how I am, too. I suck at taking screenshots, but yes, some of these are pretty darn good. So,
white after Labor Day, does that mean you're going to be with the White Dragon?
Some of these screenshots do contain white dragons.
Yeah, yes, they do. Basically, it's anything that's white or a lot of white. There is one that is I think my favorite one in this thread is the Snowy Mountain screenshot. That is just amazing looking. Then again, I wish I could take screenshots like this. So yes, if you can take screenshots, unlike myself or Bonnie, go ahead and enter, and you might win 500 DDO points. We have a little something called Shroudpalooza 2018, beginning on October 6th. Spoiler alert for the show later on. We're going to hear a lot about that.
Lots of words.
Lots of words.
And big congratulations going out to DDO Central. They are celebrating their 4th anniversary. And, of course, DDO Central is a DDO-centric blog. And he will re-blog lots of DDO and DDO post, and he does a lot of DDO weed treats and non-weed treats because he weed treats a lot of our stuff. So congratulations to DDO Central on his 4th anniversary of his blog. Good job, sir. And of course, we have our fan site news section. Ginger Spice recently started live streaming over on Twitch. Click over and check it out. Make sure you give his channel a follow. Gemini166 is running Wayloon Prison. Why? I don't know, but he is. So go ahead and watch that. Actually, it's Pineleaf, the one that doesn't like Wayloon Prison. I don't mind Wayloon that much. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to get around. I never remember how to get around in Wayloon. But
True.
I think that's the reason why I don't like it.
yeah,
And
probably.
when the Shadowfell drops, it's kind of like
Yeah,
hard
it's
to see things.
annoying, yes. Streaming with Even is running The Veil of Twilight, maybe with a guest that is on the show.
Yes, perhaps.
More on that later as well. Spoiler. Mickey's Raids is in week 87, and DDO Cast had episode 530 and update 39 review part 1 with a special guest, Linabelle. So click over and check out that episode. I have not listened to that episode yet, so I am behind in my DDO Cast. And of course, our Chronicle comment of the week, which I have not even read this week, so I'm going into this blind. What modern convenience should be powered by a bound elementals?
By bound elementals?
Yes. What modern convenience should be powered by bound elementals?
Well, if you allow ice elementals, then I would say a freezer.
That'd be pretty good.
That would work. I would say any elemental, any bound elemental would be fine. I will probably go the complete opposite of you and say the furnace with a bound fire elementals.
You guys are thinking really big. I was thinking more like I would like my electric kettle to be an elemental kettle because then I could have a storm in a teacup.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. So we go for the real conveniences. She goes for the puns.
See, and I'm surprised Pineleaf didn't do that. You disappoint me, sir.
That disappointed you by thinking of something practical?
Well, no, Pineleaf logic and all, probably not. But I like Bonnie's hands. She wins. Congratulations, you've won absolutely nothing, but you won.
It was a spiritual win.
That's right. You won the pleasure of being on the show, I guess.
Whee!
And we have our screenshot of the week. In our chronicle, Rayon gazes down at shrines in the 381st DDO screenshot of the week. And pretty much that sums up the screenshot. They're looking down at some shrines.
How about that? Let's then head into the store sales where I heard that bigger is better.
Bigger is always better. You can get 20% off now through September 13th. Sovereign Guild Renowned Elixirs, 25 of those for 20% off. Superior Spell Point Potions times 100. Gold Seal of Sovereign Healing times 100. And the Colossal Ingredient and Augment Bags, all at 20% off in the DDO store. And the weekly coupon gets you a plus 20% crafting success booster. 25 of those when you use the coupon code CRAFTCRIT, CRAFT, now through September 13th as well.
Then let's head into our main part of our show, and we'll begin with asking Bonnie, now what exactly is this Shroudpalooza thing you're talking about?
Shroudpalooza is back.
Da-da-da-da.
Like, okay, this is just the whole a time warp thing, because I think the first time I was on your show, it might have been to talk about the first Shroudpalooza.
You know, I didn't go back, but now that you say that, I think you were correct in that.
Like almost 4 years ago was when we did the first Shroudpalooza, or when I did the first Shroudpalooza, because I just thought, hey, I'll go to all the servers. I will run the 13th Eclipse raid, aka the Shroud, on all the servers, see who will show up, meet some people, and hopefully it will be fun. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
If it was 4 years ago, then it was very early in our show's history.
Yes, I think it was. I think it was maybe,
actually. Let me look right
it's
now.
at least the first 50 episodes.
Oh,
yeah,
very definitely.
it was. I think you were. Matter of fact, you might have been the first guest we have her out on too. Maybe. Let me.
That actually sounds pretty likely.
Let me look.
What?
I think you might have been. Hold on.
Surely Cordovan has beat me. Was
No,
just before me.
no. We actually, I think, had you and Les on before we actually had Cordovan on. Believe it or not. I'm looking back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Looks like you were episode 16.
16! I didn't realize it was that early.
The infamous Magic Marker Bikini episode.
Yes!
Magic Marker Bikini.
Yeah, just this past week we had the shout out for Magic Marker Bikini story.
Yes, we did on Twitter.
One of my
Good
childhood
times.
friends was validating the story that she remembers it happening.
So yeah, you were, and it does look like, yes, you were the first guest we ever had on.
Well, that's amazing. I didn't realize that. What an honor.
And 4 years later, you have returned with yet another Shroudpalooza.
Yet another Shroudpalooza 4 years later.
That's
this
amazing
time around,
how that
I have
worked out.
help, though. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't mean that I'm going to be the last guest on your show.
Well, I hope not. So,
That would be terrible. I would be very guilty if that happened.
So who is the guest you have for the Shroudpalooza this time?
Well, this time I have help. And so they're not so much guests as much as the team, the Shroudpalooza team this time around, so that there's more hands and eyes and players doing stuff and less. It's not as much work, maybe, or it's 3 times the work. I don't know. It's somewhere in that range. It's somewhere between a third of the work to 3 times the work is involved now.
Do these have damsel-like names?
No, it's Even Note, who you're familiar with.
Who has also been a guest on the show.
Yes. Even Note is going to be doing most of the streaming and hosting, and so it's going to be her camera that everybody's watching if they join us in the stream on the DDO stream channel. And then Thulgrin, I don't know, we kind of lured him in with promises of tacos or something.
How you get him tacos, I don't know, unless he.
We're like, we'll give you a taco if you show up and talk and stuff and be amusing, and so now he can't get away. I think he's regretting it, but he's also going to be there and participating. And so it's cool. It's a nice cross section because my home server is pretty much Cannith, and Even is from Thelanis, and Fulgrin is from Orion. So we're kind of like representing 3 of the 8 servers from the get-go right there. At Shroudpalooza, in case you weren't around when the first Shroudpalooza happened, it's basically every other Saturday, starting on October 6th, we'll go to one of the DDO servers, and from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll stream it on the DDO stream channel. And we're basically just going to run the Shroud Raid. Pretty much as many runs of the Shroud Raid as we can get in those 3 hours. We're going to just run it over and over, and hopefully there will be multiple groups of people who want to hit up the LFM and join the raid group. So we'll get to talk to a lot of people, and they'll get to meet each other if they haven't grouped before. Or maybe if they haven't ever run the raid before, they'll get to try it out in like a safe space kind of situation.
All right, and how long does it take to run a Shroud Raid?
Well, it kind of depends on the party makeup. So sometimes, if you're not really paying attention and you're goofing around more than you're like trying to speed through it, it can take, half an hour or so. If you're doing a speed run, it can maybe take 15 minutes. But on the whole, first Shroudpalooza, we usually did about 4 runs, maybe 5 during the show.
All right, and how long do you think it take a person in order to get flagged so they could actually run the Shroud with you?
Well, there's 5 quests to do to flag, and this is Heroic Shroud. So basically, you need to own the Veil of Twilight Adventure Pack, which you probably should because it's really good content. And then the green steel crafting loot that comes out of it is relevant pretty much throughout heroic levels if you do any kind of reincarnations. And it's also relevant if you do any kind of epic level stuff, because there's certain like clickies for like displacement and brilliance effects that are useful across the board, to a lot of different builds and to characters even when they're level 30.
And what's the level of Heroic Shroud?
I think the lowest level you can be to do the flagging quest is level 13, and by the time you're finished flagging, you would be at least 14. So the rule is pretty much, if you're flagged for Shroud, you can join this event. So anything from probably level 14 to up to level 30 is welcome.
All right. And what level should you be if you are sane in doing these quests?
Sane, you want to, I think the most simple way of doing it is if you roll up an iconic and then flag, you'll probably be level 16 or 17. We'll probably be running it through them on Elite, because usually there'll be level 30s in the party, and it's just pretty much a breeze. And there's no reason to not do it on Elite. And so maybe that'd be a level 18 quest or raid at that point. But there should be a big variety of characters and stuff. We aren't doing it for the experience. So, if you're on a weak character, it doesn't really matter. If you're a lower level, it's okay. There'll be people who will pick up your soul stone and and raise you and things like that, and try to heal you and keep you alive. And if you're new to the raid and need help, just say something up front, and we'll try to help you and answer any questions that you might have, and try to look out for you and make sure that you get to those end chests. I'm trying to think what else. What have I not said? Okay, we're starting at October 6th on the Lannis server. This is going every other Saturday up until the last stop, which is going to be Cannith server on January 12th, 2019. If you aren't on the Lannis and you aren't on Cannith, if you're on one of the other servers, you can find the rest of the schedule on the Shroudpalooza website at shroudpalooza.com. I think that's pretty much about the Shroudpalooza event itself. Oh, one thing I should mention is we are going to be giving away things at every single event. And people who are in the Twitch chat room and people who participate will be eligible. There'll probably be some social media things that people can do during the live stream. And we'll be giving away at least one point code each event to people who participate and who are in the Twitch chat. So that's a fun thing. Who knows what else we'll be giving away. There's an overall, I know we're giving away one copy of Ravenloft, of the expansion pack, at the end, doing a raffle amongst everybody who's participated in Shroudpalooza. So if for some crazy reason you do not have a copy of Ravenloft yet, and Shroud has not gotten his talons into you, assuming he has talons. Let's just pretend Shroud has talons.
That makes me sad if you don't own a copy of Ravenloft. I'm very sad at that.
If you don't, yeah, it's a very sad thing. And we're trying to help at least some poor soul out there so that they can be an even worse off poor soul and be able to go to Barovia and hang out with Strahd.
At least in the DDO version, you don't get stuck there.
Right. And then there's two other things. One is, I decided, or we talked about it a little bit, and then I had personal reasons. I decided that it would be really good if we tied in doing Shroudpalooza to the Extra Life charity. Extra Life has been around for about 10 years, and it's basically when video gamers and tabletop players kind of band together and they play games. And to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So over the past decade, they've raised over $30 million. And Lotro has typically done a lot of fundraising for Extra Life, especially the past couple of years. And I think Turbine used to have a regular fundraising presence in years before that.
Yeah. So
last year, I think Lotro players, they raised over $5,000 for Extra Life. So I'm not even trying to do a fraction of that, but I thought, it'd be really nice if the DDO players and fans of the game and people who come to the Shroudpalooza stream kind of banded together and tried to raise money too, and maybe give Lotro a run for their money, but it's okay if they don't. It's a very good cause. It helps a lot of thousands of sick kids every year in helping them get care that they need.
Yeah, Extra Life is amazing.
And I mean, these kids are heroes. They're kind of battling their own boss fights against cancer and and heart disease and things like that. And I think it'd be really great if people who like DDO buff them up with a donation if they're able to. And as part of that, we're going to raffle off a 12-month VIP code amongst all the people who donate at least $5 before December 26th of this year. I know in the Lotro fundraising efforts, like they do like the milestone tiers and stuff because the developers are raising the money so they can give away, like, I don't know, ghost squirrels or little bears or something in Middle Earth if you donate a certain amount. But I don't have those kind of resources, so it's just the one VIP code for now. Maybe if we hit a milestone or something, I'll come up with something else. But
hold that thought. I have a surprise for you.
What?
Ooh.
DDO players, the site is going to donate a 1,550 DDO point code for you to do as you wish.
Ooh, so we have 2 different prizes now for raffling off.
You doubled the prizes.
Yeah, we are happy to do that. So yeah, you can.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll either give you the code or you can give me the winner or however, but we'll work that out later. But yeah, so you can get a VIP and a 1,550 point code as well.
So you heard it here first. And now I have to go run and update the webpage.
Well, yeah, there's that. See, and
Thank you.
Hey, you are very welcome. That's we love Extra Life a lot. And which hospital are you playing for?
My family, they're at Duke Children's Hospital, but I thought Lotro and Sandstone Games, when they've been doing the fundraising, they've been donating to the Boston Children's Hospital, and that's the closest to where Standing Stone Games is.
Right.
So that's who we're playing for, Boston Children's Hospital.
Awesome. So yeah, so you're doing your Extra Life through the whole Shroudpalooza is going to be part of the Extra Life, correct?
Yeah, rather than doing like a 24-hour straight stream.
What I wanted to make sure
we're gonna we'll like put a link on screen and spam the link in chat when we stream at all the Shroudpaloozas. There's already been some great donations that have come in, and I really appreciate it. It's wonderful to see people who've been contributing so far, and so I hope other people will. And it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like how little or how big. It doesn't even matter if you donate through the Extra Life Shroudpalooza page. Just donate to somebody. I don't care, as long as you give it to the charity if you're interested in it, and every dollar counts and helps out the sick kids. So, if you can, please consider doing that.
And what is your goal that you have set?
I put $500 down. Hopefully we'll at least meet that goal. We're almost halfway there.
Awesome.
Ooh. And you haven't even started the streaming yet.
And we haven't even started the streaming yet. So it'll be pretty cool if we meet that and surpass it. But yeah, like I said before, any bit counts. I'm really thankful that that people have taken an interest and are participating and supporting this worthwhile charity.
And that starts once again October 6th on Delanus will be the first Shroud run for Shroudpalooza, correct?
Right. And remember, if you have any questions or concerns, or not concerns, but want to know more about Shroudpalooza in general and the different things that we're doing, you can go to shroudpalooza.com and find a lot of information there, as well as an email you can use to send an email to General Eretrikos and ask questions.
What? I didn't know about that. Well, I'm going to send an email because I have some questions.
Shroudpalooza@gmail.com.
All right. I could just imagine. So does that mean you have managed to talk a pit fiend into helping you with the children?
Well, I mean, I don't think he realizes that he's helping the children. This is General Eretrikos here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He thought it was for eating the children instead. Yes.
Destroying the children and destroying his minions. I don't know.
Yeah.
What Harry doesn't know won't hurt him too much.
Too much. Okay.
There's another thing you could send to Eritricos through his email. We're also going to do an art contest. And I'm going to put more details about that up on the forums later on this week. I just didn't want to like inundate and drown the forums with a bunch of posts from me because I never post on the forums. So I don't want anybody to think, who is this body view and why does she keep throwing things at us about Shroudpalooza and whatnot? So I'm pacing myself a little bit. But if you're interested in the art contest, want to see what's going on with that, there's information about it on the website at shroudpalooza.com. And it's another way that you could possibly win a VIP time code and some points. So if you can draw stick figures, or you maybe have a lot of minis and you can set out a dioramic scene of some kind of Veil of Twilight like image and want to take a picture of it, maybe this is the contest for you.
Some stick figures. That means this is going to be an Order of the Stick themed.
It's not an overage. It's not. I like to think it's not your typical art contest because I feel like you shouldn't necessarily feel constrained by a lack of artistic ability.
So if you can't draw, this is the contest for you.
we want people who can draw as well as people who can't draw. It's more like the enthusiasm for Shroud and Eritricos and the Veil of Twilight and DDO and Shroudpalooza in general, which is the point, not necessarily having a perfect drawing that could hang in the Victorian Albert Museum or something.
I'm actually looking forward to because I'm gonna participate in I think 3 different servers.
Woo!
So I'm excited.
Come on down. I'm going to participate in 8 servers.
So are you flagged everywhere yet, or do you still have
I am flagged everywhere.
Are you? Wow. That's impressive.
I'm flagged on more than one character in some places.
Wow.
Because of doing the streaming with Even. If you tune into streaming with Even on DDO stream, which is like 11 p.m. Eastern on Sunday evenings, i.e. past Pine Leaf's bedtime, we're basically flagging Shroud on different servers. But if you need help in flagging for Shroud, especially in the couple of weeks leading up to Shroudpalooza on your server, you can send an in-game message to one of our characters and we can try to help you out and arrange a time where we can help you do the quests. And we have the character names that we're going to be playing on each of the servers up on the website for ease of stalking us, I guess.
Ease of stalking us.
I think that's a lot of words, a lot of ideas and concepts, but I think that's all I can say about Shroudpalooza at this time.
And I'm sure you'll be able to say more at a later time.
Yeah, I'll make up something else that I can talk about.
Let's then see what's coming in from the dungeon. And it looks like a ranger carrying 2 swords.
Why did I know you weren't going to try to pronounce the name? I was waiting to see how well you were going to do.
Book about that guy.
Yeah, that guy. The drow guy.
Even, let's face it, not even the author pronounces it consistently.
That is very true. There is many ways to pronounce the name of the one and only Drizzt Do'Urden. I say Drizzt is how I say it.
That's how I say it too.
Yeah, Drizzt.
I've heard people say Drizzit, which I don't like Drizzit at all. I don't like that at all.
Where's this extra vowel coming from?
Well, that's what I kind of wonder too. But I've heard many people say Drizzit, and I'm like, no, just no.
Yeah.
And R.A., like you said, R.A. Salvatore says it 2 or 3 different ways.
That's
Usually
a hard no.
he says Dritzt. So that's what I'm going with. Yeah, he's back in an all-new book called Timeless. It has been 2 years since there has been a Drizzt novel, but now it is back. This is available in all major bookstores and, of course, online. Audiobooks also available as well. This is an all-new adventure in the Underdark, of course. Drizzt is teaming up with a brand new friend, and they are taking on Loth and her demons to try to make it out of the Underdark and to thwart some of the plans that Loth has, because that's silly Loth and their plans.
Yeah, you always know about that.
But yes, R.A. Salvatore's brand new book, Timeless, available now. As I said, indie bookstores, Barnes & Noble has it. I was just in my local Barnes & Noble, and they had a whole big display of them set up. So they are pushing it, and also Amazon has it, and audiobooks available as well.
Very well. And then we next will discuss a little heist.
Yes.
Big heist.
A big heist.
A dragon-sized heist.
A dragon-sized heist. Ooh.
Yeah, the new source book for D&D 5e is available at most friendly local game stores now. Of course, we're talking about Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And it sounds like Bonnie went to her FLGS and picked it up.
I did. I had to figure out where it was.
Wow.
Because I moved at the start of the year. And so it was surprisingly convenient. And they were very nice. And I asked them if they had a copy of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and they said sure did. And so I got my own happy little copy. It's fabulous.
Full disclosure, I got a copy from WotC on Friday is when I got it. So a review will be coming soonish.
Mm-hmm.
Mini spoiler alert. It's awesome.
It's awesome. Now we're going to talk.
We
aren't going to talk in detail about it. But I think we both have a pet peeve, and I have a couple favorite things that I have encountered so far.
Let's talk about the good. My favorite thing is, and I'm going to keep this spoiler free, the way they're actually doing the adventure. It is broke up into seasons. And when I say seasons, I'm talking about spring, winter, summer, fall. So depending on what season you want to play in, the main villain that you will be facing will change. And I think that is amazing how they did that. So it leads to some good replayability. You can technically run this 4 times and have a different adventure every time because each season path is totally different than the other. I really, really like that. I think that's one of my most favorite things about the book.
Yeah, I really like that about it too, about how they broke up the adventure into those season sections. It was a lot of great stories going on there.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is so much good writing. This is, like I said, we're going to do a full review of it, but it's one of the better adventure paths I think I've seen coming out of WotC for a while, probably since the Curse of Strahd.
I really like it. Comparing it to, because there's been a couple previous editions, things that have been published about Waterdeep, and I really like this book because it was really easy to follow, as opposed to maybe a list of stuff that some of the older versions seem to be more like. If you get really, really old, like Waterdeep and the North, I think it just felt like a list of stuff to me looking at that. Waterdeep City of Splendors less so, but this really seemed more like everything here was like meaty and imaginative and kind of got me thinking about possibilities rather than trying to process a bunch of facts.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the not so good.
Uh-oh.
There's actually not a lot that I didn't like about the book.
There's only one thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because as we were doing some pre-show banter, it seems like Bonnie and I had the same thing we didn't like.
Yep.
I love Force Grey. I'm a big fan of Force Grey. And of course, everybody should probably know what Force Grey is. You probably watched the Force Grey streams. You know what it is. I don't like how they're doing Force Grey in this book. You want to elaborate on that, Bonnie? You can get it to.
Well,
but it's
So Force Grey is an organization, an affiliation you can kind of raise your reputation with, kind of form bonds with. So you could kind of become a member of Force Grey when you play this.
Which that's fine. I don't mind that.
It's perfectly fine. And the thing, and everyone knows kind of how Force Grey is spelled. It's spelled the British version of the word grey with an E.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've kind of expanded the lore about Force Grey, as far as I know. I don't think this was necessarily official before this book came out.
Not that I knew, but I'm going to have to do some research on that.
Well, here's the thing. In Waterdeep, like the City of Splendors Waterdeep, there was a prestige class called Greyhand that was an organization like Force Gray, only Greyhound was spelled with an A in the word gray, the American spelling. Well, apparently in this book, they have banded the two together so that they're part of the same organization and the rankings and within Force Gray. And they kept the spelling. So everything is flipping between the UK spelling of gray and the American spelling of gray. And it is driving me insane.
Yeah, it did me too. When I first got to that section of the book, I was like, okay, maybe that was a typo that slipped through somehow. I can't see that happening, but okay. And then all of a sudden I seen it Grey, and I'm like, okay, that other one was a typo. Well, no. Then it went back to Gray, and I'm like, oh my God, stick with the spelling and go with it.
I know.
Oh
it's
my Lord.
insane.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's like it's driving my perfectionism crazy. I'm like,
normally
it must be consistent.
Normally stuff like that doesn't bother me, but for some reason this is just like I agree. It's driving me freaking batty. Every time I see this, I'm like, oh my God, either go Grey or go Gray. Whichever, go with it and stick with it through your whole book.
I'm assuming that they did it that way to be respectful to the source material rather than change one or the other. But I really would have liked them to go with like the Force Gray spelling and just be consistent because it really is irritating.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I was surprised that I actually had this much of a feeling about it, because normally stuff like that I'm like, yeah, well, okay, whatever. But this is just like, it's kind of off-putting, I guess, because as you're reading along and it's just like EY, AY, EY, AY, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. And to me, I think the reason why it's off-putting, I mean, linguistically, is the difference in spellings is a regional thing. It has to do with, you know, if you're from one region, one area of the planet Earth, you spell gray one way, and if you're from another area, you spell it another way. And the part where they're mixing up the spellings, but it's supposed to be based in one location, is freaking me out linguistically.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve with the book. Is just like, I don't know why they chose to do this. I don't. Maybe I should send my PR contact at WotC an email.
Why did they do it
say,
that
hey,
way?
Why did you do this?
In the next book, you're going to learn about the internal feud that's going on within the organization about the spelling.
There's like a schism within
there
Force
is a
Gray.
schism of the proper way to spell it.
They're calling it the spelling wars.
Are you the EY or AY?
Yes.
Hashtag AY, hashtag EY.
Yes.
To follow up on that negativity, I'm going to go back to one thing that I really, really liked about Waterdeep Dragon Heist. There's if you've been watching Dice Camera Action, which is like the live role RPG that the WotC does on Tuesdays with Chris Perkins DMing, there's been several episodes in Waterdeep, and there's been some alternate characters that they've played that are 3 Waterdeep orphans. And they've shown a picture of these orphans in the stream. And I just assumed this was going to be art from this book. But lo and behold, that particular picture didn't show up in this book. The orphans, their names are Nat, and she's like this tall, brown-haired girl. And there's a tiefling boy who has one eye out named Squidly. And then there's a little rotund boy named Jinx. So these characters have played a big part of that stream, and they had like some official kind of art for them. Well, lo and behold, you get to the book and you don't see that art in here, but throughout the whole volume, there are all kinds of pictures that have these 3 characters in them of these orphans looking upon different scenes from the story of this book. And that art is just amazing. I love it. It's just entrancing. It's one of my favorite things about this so far. It's almost like a children's book to me in that sense, because there's these little kids going through this amazing adventure looking at different scenes and scenarios from Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Love it.
So yes, look for a full review coming soon over on DDO Player.
Now it is time for us to see what's on the tabletop. and it looks like we have a card game here from WotC that's going to be full of mayhem.
That is right. WotC has announced a brand new card game, and it's actually from WotC and not from Avalon Hills, so that I thought was kind of strange. But it is called Dungeon Mayhem. This is an easy-to-learn card game that's going to pit the wits and the brawn of a party of adventurers against each other. 2 to 4 players will choose one of 4 decks modeled after characters in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. So you'll get the Barbarian, the Paladin, the Rogue, and the Wizard. You can sling spells, say that a couple times fast, daggers, and, well, just mayhem at each other until there's only one left to claim the treasure. This is coming out November 16th from WotC. Everything you need to learn to play is in the box. And the cool thing about it is you can learn how to play in under 5 minutes.
All right, so this is, in other words, a typical dungeon party, right?
it pretty much, yes. And this is going to be available everywhere on November 16th, and it has a MSRP of $15. So, brand new card game coming from WotC, Dungeon Mayhem. It sounds kind of cool, actually. 2 to 4 players. They say it can play anywhere between 5 minutes up to 15 minutes. So it's a good, quick game. So I could see this maybe as you're waiting for your D&D players to show up during game night. You break this out, and if there's between 2 and 4 already there, you can just run this and have some fun and then jump into your D&D game.
Right. And then also let's look at it. Looks like Rather Dashing Games has now a bit of a catalyst to work with.
They do. Yeah, this kind of came out of nowhere. Rather Dashing Game did announce that their new game, Awakening Lair, is now shipping, so your friendly local game store should have it. Of course, it's on Amazon and everything as well. But not only that, they are also under new management. Looks like Catalyst Game Labs has bought Rather Dashing Games. I have no idea where this came from. Didn't even know this was happening. I actually found out about this at Gen Con, but I couldn't say anything because it wasn't like official yet. But now it is actually out there. Yeah, it was owned by Kallenbach Publishing, who Kallenbach does a lot of magazines. They are big into the magazine world, and they bought Rather Dashing Games back in 2016, and it looks like they now wanted to exit themselves out of the tabletop board game industry and just work on their magazines again and just settle on that. So looks like they found a new home with Catalyst Game Labs. And from what Mike Ritchie of Rather Dashing Games told me, nothing is going to change. Everything's going to be the same. Their releases they have announced, which this was the only one they had announced. He's working on 2 other games that will be announced soon. Hasn't changed. And the only thing that changed was the ship date for Awakening Lair got pushed back about 2 months, but that wasn't because of this whole Catalyst Game Labs buying them. That was because there was an issue with the slow boat from China. So they had to redo the release date. But Rather Dashing Games, Awakening Lair is out now. And if you don't remember, we did a full review of this, and I've talked about it several times. This is a dungeon crawl card game where you take cards out, you lay out your dungeon, you start at the first door, and you work your way up. But as you're doing that, the monster is also waking up as well. And once the monster comes out, that is the boss that you have to fight. And it gets really, really hard once the boss comes out. So you want to try to get up to his lair before he actually wakes up. You can, over on the article up on DDO Players, there is a link to the review of this that I did a while back. But if you want to pick it up for yourself, you can do so now.
Then let's go on and see what's on the screen. And we'll begin with a little question to Drac. Who is Captain Marvel?
Who is Captain Marvel? Come on, Pineleaf.
Keep track of all these things.
Pineleaf, you disappoint me so.
Sorry.
First, it was the Goonies. And now it's Captain Marvel.
Well, I guess it's fair that there hasn't been a Captain Marvel movie yet,
Well,
exactly.
True. So, okay. Everybody sit down. I'll tell you the story of Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Captain Marvel, of course, is from Marvel Comics. That's
okay. I suppose that makes sense.
That's tough. Yeah, she is. Her actual name is Carol Danvers, and she is in the United States Air Force. And she is becomes Captain Marvel. I won't spoil things because I don't know exactly how they're going to do it in the movie. But yes, there is a Captain Marvel movie coming out, and it's going to be played by Brie Larson. Many people might know Brie Larson just by name, and it looks like they finally got around to showing off her outfit, because that is one thing Captain Marvel was known for, is she had a interesting outfit, and Entertainment Weekly got the scoop on the outfit.
Her outfit's more like the current outfit, but thankfully with the classic hair.
Okay, my biggest problem with the Captain Marvel outfit is somebody at Marvel decided, okay, let's take Captain America. Let's take Iron Man. Let's take Spider-Man. Kind of throw all of their outfits together and make Captain Marvel her outfit, and there you go.
It reminds me of Captain America more than anything. It's like it's got little bits of flair from the other two.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard the fan speculation that they think that after the next Infinity War movie that Captain Marvel is going to kind of take Captain America's place within the Avengers.
Yeah, I kind of think that's what's going to go on too. And yeah, I know a lot of people do that. But yeah, if you've seen the last Infinity Wars movie, okay, spoiler alert, big spoiler alert. I want to make sure this is clear. I'm going to spoil the whole Infinity War movie for you. So if you have not seen Infinity War and you don't want to know this, you're waiting. I don't know why you're waiting to see the movie. It's out on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you have not seen it and you don't want to know, you're going to want to just scoot through the show, maybe about 2 minutes. All right, the very last scene of Avengers Infinity War, Nick Fury is desperately trying to contact Captain Marvel because things happen in Infinity Wars, and basically he contacts her, and then as soon as he gets in contact with her, everybody dies.
Oops.
Yeah, it's just
hopefully the text went through.
Yeah, so we're assuming the next Infinity Wars, Captain Marvel is going to come and try to take care of things. But yeah, so, okay, spoiler alert over. So this movie's looking to be released March 8th in 2019. So we got a little while to wait. But yeah, you can go over on the story I put up on DDO Players and you can see the outfit. And also there is a video over on Entertainment Weekly that I week too that you can kind of see some other little spoiler-ish things from the movie, I guess, because there is a couple of people that show up that I'm like, how are they here because they died? But they did say that if you're familiar with the Marvel Universe, Phil Coulson, who of course is played by Clark Gregg, in the current Marvel Universe, he is dead. In the current timeline. That is well known. But he's going to be in the Captain Marvel movie because this movie is set in the early 90s. So then he was still alive.
Before the Avengers movie.
Yeah. So this is going to take place before Avengers. So Coulson's still alive. And in theory, the rest of the Avengers are still alive because they didn't die. Because it's strange.
Yeah, like Nick Fury's supposed to be in it too.
Right. So that's what we know. We don't know much, but like I said, I'm on the outfit, not
I'm just bummed we have to wait till March.
I know.
I thought for sure that was going to come out in November.
I am so looking forward to this movie.
I guess the Marvel movie that's coming out in November is Venom, which is highly disappointing.
Yes, I think Venom is the next one, and then
I know some people like
Captain
Tom Hardy
Marvel
and stuff, but all of the trailers I've seen for Venom, it doesn't look super exciting.
Yeah, it did.
Because it doesn't have anything to do with Spider-Man.
Right.
So,
which I don't get. I'm like, how are you doing a Venom?
So
whatever.
that just makes me sad.
course, I was never a big Venom fan anyway. But
Yeah, I wasn't either. So I thought Captain Marvel was going to be here in November, and I was excited. And then
and then you're like,
it's
what? I gotta wait
March.
till March. What's going on?
Oh well.
But yeah, I'm Like I said, I'm on the outfit, but I don't know. Maybe it'll change, maybe not since they announced it. Maybe they'll stick with this. I don't know.
They've already filmed it though, so.
Well, that's true, I guess. I don't know. But I know I'm not alone in my, I'll say, dislike for this outfit. It's a lot better than there was a couple, start of the summer maybe. There was supposedly a leaked outfit that got out. I don't know if it was just like some fake thing they did to get buzz, but it was it was like this ugly green thing, and oh my god, it was hideous.
I think I know what that is. I think that's supposed to be her Space Force uniform.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, that might make sense.
Yeah.
But
just
that
for
outfit is
Captain Marvel.
hideous. Now this is not hideous. It's just meh.
Meh.
Then let's see, instead of what is on the screen, let's have a look at the screen itself as Biotech introduces a new line of ultra-thin, curved, bezel-less monitors.
Monsters. Oh my god.
Monsters.
Not
Bezel-less
Okay.
monsters.
Oh, that's a monster. I thought we were seeing a basilisk or something. Oh, we have to be careful.
Oh
about
god,
that.
no. Oh, that's bad, finally.
These flumps are crazy.
That's right. Plumps everywhere. Yeah, Biotech is a new player in the computer monitor game, but if you're a gamer and you're a gamer on a budget, they have some new monitors out that you might like. The cool thing about them is they're super, super thin, as you said, and there's also no bezel on them, but they're curved. That's right, a curved gaming monitor. And these are on a budget. And Biotech does say entry level shouldn't have to mean inferior. As a brand, Biotech has always strived to deliver high performance at an affordable price point. But these new monitors raise the bar considerably in terms of what features and functionality will now come standard. So if you're a gamer that needs a new monitor, you might want to look at these. There is 4 different models that are out. The NB24C, 27C, 32C, and the 27C2. Prices are ranging from $180 MSRP all the way up to $380, so not bad for a gaming monitor. And really the biggest difference between them is the size. They have 24-inch models, 27-inch models, and a 32-inch model as well. They're all 16 by 9, and they are all 1920 by 1080p. They are have a 170-80 degree viewing angle. As we said, they are curved. All come with a 75 hertz refresh rate, so they should be good for gaming. And 3 of the models out of the 4 come with, on the back of them, there is a thing that you hit a button, it pops up, you put your headphones back there. So you have headphone storage right on the back of your monitor. They all come with VESA mountable as well, and they have internal speakers as well. So these range, as I said, from 180 to 380. So if you're in the market for a new monitor and you want one of them fancy curved monitors, this might be the way to do it.
Now, here's a rather silly question.
Sure.
Since I don't have any curved monitors, I would have thought that the advantage of a bezel-less monitor was to ease having dual monitors, but if you're curved, it sounds like it would make it harder to have dual monitors.
Not really. If I should have included that picture in the press release they sent me, there was a picture where they had 2 of these side by side. And
okay.
It looked pretty darn cool having the 2 curves, because as you were sitting there with the curve, it kind of enveloped you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I said, these are really good price points, because usually, like gaming, if you want a good gaming monitor, you're gonna, I would say most of them start about $275 and up. So actually having one that has decent features for $180 is a pretty good deal. And of course, they are running an introductory special as well. That 180 model, which is the NB24C, it's going to be $150 at the introductory price. The 230 NB27C is $190. $325 is the base price for the NB32C. That's the 32-inch version. It's going to be $270 intro price. And the GN27C2, which is like the top of the line big monitor, it's a 27-inch game monitor. It's got a lot of extra features, and it's really the gaming monitor to have. That one's $360, going to be $300 intro price. So check these out. As I said, Viotech is a fairly new company. They've been around maybe 3 or 4 years. I know they do a lot of mice and gaming pads, and they've done some like network cards and stuff like that. This is their first foray into computer monitors.
So theoretically, if somebody could afford 4 of those, they could build their own personal iMacs.
You could. I didn't think about that, but yes, you could. But I will have to... In the show notes, I will include either in the show notes or on, maybe I'll just put it on the YouTube version. So if you get the audio version of this, sorry, you're out of luck. You're going to have to go watch the YouTube version. I will put the picture of 2 of those side by side because it looks freaking amazing. I think those are the 27-inch that they have side by side. And I could see if you were sitting there, it would literally envelop around you because of the curve. So.
A cocoon of gaming.
Yeah.
A cocoon of gaming.
It's awesome. Yep.
Then let's head into some casting news for Witcher.
Yeah, and I'm glad Bonnie included this because I was going to put a post up about this, and I just got busy with real life and stuff, and I forgot. But I know we kind of talked about it, I think, because I know we talked about the Witcher RPG, which there's a review of that coming at some point on the site as well too. But we did talk about Netflix is doing a Witcher show, and we now know who is going to star as the Witcher himself.
Ooh.
And that is Henry Cavill. I think it's Henry Cavill, I think. You might know his name. You might know him as Superman. He played Superman.
Yay!
And I know some people are like, yay! Some people are like,
I'm super excited.
What the hell are you thinking? Other people are like, okay, whatever.
I guess I never saw any of Cavill's Superman stuff since.
It's all the recent Zack Snyder movies that have been part of the DCEU.
Yeah,
I know. When I think of Superman, I guess I think of George Reeve and Christopher Reeve. So
yeah, most people do. But the thing is, I think he's a pretty good Superman. It's just the vehicles he's had to be Superman in, I totally disliked. So I felt bad for
That's
Henry
because,
Cavill.
in my
I'm
opinion,
so glad.
DC cannot make a movie.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was good, and that's about it.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad was okay, but.
Meh.
But
well, DC can't make.
No.
So you didn't like any of the Batman movies either, then?
No.
Okay.
No. No.
But this is really exciting because they've got some really good showrunners on it who've been on the involved with other successful series on Netflix, and they've got great source material to work with. And they're talking about a late 2019 premiere on Netflix, which makes me think that this could be the perfect successor to Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones ends the first half of 2019.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking for some kind of fantasy, medieval, epic setting, to get their taste of that kind of adventure on in a television series. So this could be it. And I really liked Henry Cavill in the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie. He played Napoleon Solo, and I think he's a pretty good actor. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the role of Geralt of Rivia.
And we should note that this is based off of the novels and not the game.
True.
So that might make a difference. And the only other thing we know is Bonnie said late 2019 release on Netflix. And it's going to be an 8-episode series. So we'll see. I'm pretty excited about this. It looks like it's going to be good. And I think he's going to make a good Witcher, I think. And Netflix, as the little blurb Netflix has about the show, it's a tale of a mutated monster hunter who struggles to find his place in a world where people often prove more wicked than the beast.
It's also said that there is some controversy on one of the castings.
Mm-hmm. There's a character named Siri who's kind of like a foster daughter of a girl to Rivia, and typically she's been like silver haired and kind of had the same coloring as him. But there's been controversy because word got out of a casting sheet that they're looking for a person of color to play this part. So there's a lot of Witcher fans are going crazy because they've kind of stepped away from the type they're expecting. And it's a typical internet argument about this kind of thing is going on. All Witcher fans are up in a tizzy about it.
Which
it's kind of like the internet never changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole internet. And there'll be a link in the show notes for this too, but IO9 is the one that kind of first reported on this casting rumor. I guess at this point they're trying to actually see if this is legit or not. But they do kind of point out this is kind of it's not the first time this has happened with The Witcher, because when the Witcher 3 video game came out, there was a lot of people that noticed there was very, very few. I think there's only 2 maybe people of color in like the whole game. So people were kind of like, hey, don't you think, we need a little diversity here? So I'm kind of wondering if maybe that's why they're looking to do that in the TV show, maybe, if this proves to be true.
Yeah, it probably is.
But yes,
I think I don't really care. I think as long as they have somebody who's talented and can play the role and handle the emotional scope of what's actually going on to do the work, that's more important to me than necessarily what they look like.
The actual casting call says Netflix is looking for a BAME actress, and that is a Black, Asian, or other non-white minority ethnic actress. So they want somebody along those lines. So, I don't care either way. I can see it, but I'll be honest, I've never read the Witcher books. I guess I'm going to have to read them. I've only ever played the video games, so I don't know. And in the video games, she, of course, has the silver hair, so it's going to be a departure, but I'm not sure in the books how they describe her.
Well, there is always that tricky bit.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's not the kind of thing like necessarily like she's a Targaryen and they all have a specific coloring that runs in the family kind of situation.
Right, yeah.
So I don't think it's really that important. But some people are just really, want things to be exactly like they are in the book.
Well, like that's going to happen.
It's like, have you seen TV?
Exactly. Because internet.
Because
yeah.
internet.
Then let's head into our week in gaming. And Drek, what have you been up to?
Well, I did some DDO with you. I will let you talk about that as always. The static group, which we have now officially named the static group that Rent and Tay and I have over on Wayfinder. We have officially named it the Three Amigos static group.
That's a cool name.
It is. I like it, yeah. So we ran part 3 of the assault on the slave lords. And oh my god, we ran it on hard and we party wiped at the end because that boss fight sucks.
Whoops.
With a capital S, sucks hard. Yeah, we wiped. And we used a couple cakes. We tried to do a couple shenanigans to see if we could get them to shenanigan work, and they did not. So we're gonna go back in and we are gonna do it on normal just so we can finish it and just to get some retribution. But oh my god,
that quest is so long to
it
get that far.
It is. Oh, I know. We were so well. And the thing that I had forgot about and what pissed us off the most is right before you get to the boss fight, there is a rush shrine. But unless you ran that quest, you don't realize the boss fight's coming up. And as soon as you step into the room, you're in the boss fight, and they put up one of those invisible, well, it's not invisible, but it's one of those little...
Have to click on something and teleport.
Yeah, like those force shield walls up. and you can't freaking get out to get to the rest shrines. You're stuck. And it has been a while since I ran the quest. So if I would have known, I would have thought, hey, we should probably use this rush shrine because this is the stupid, ugly boss fight coming up. And yeah, I had forgot about that. And of course, Tay is our wizard, and he had no spell points.
Yeah.
So
you didn't stop immediately at a shrine when he had no spell points?
No. It's how we play. Who stops at restaurants? Come on.
Okay. Three amigos.
Exactly.
Okay. Certainly not 3 adventurers, 3 amigos.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, and then...
But should it be tres amigos?
Needs to be something. So after we're wiped, we're like, probably should have used that shrine. But... yeah, it's... so we're going to go back in. But yeah, that boss... Well, see, and the problem with that boss fight is there's like 3 red names along with the boss, along with about 4 archers and like 2 other people. So it's a lot of stuff going on at one time. And when you're not prepared for it, I mean, we wiped like almost instantly. It was like, because as soon as you step foot in that room, the boss does his little 3-line, I'm going to kill you. And then everybody comes rushing at you. And it was like, crap. What just happened?
That one was long-winded startups.
Yeah.
It's like a Zegetmoy level of death.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, so we're going to run that. And as Bunny said, that quest is freaking long, too. I mean, I like that quest. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I enjoy Travis Willingham's DM work. But that's a long freaking quest to, like, get to the end and then freaking party wipe. And there's no way to get to the shrine that you can see through the freaking wall that you can't click on. It's like
so close and yet so far.
Game dev trolls. It's like, look, there's a shrine you can't use. Anyway, so that's what I did in DDO. Video game wise, played some more Pathfinder Kingmaker, and news was released. Just got a press release on Friday that I'm gonna have to put a post up about. It's actually gonna go. It's officially in beta now. It's going to be in beta until the end of the month, and then it's going to release. So there was a new build out, and they did a lot of work on it from what I seen just in the little bit I played. So if you're into Pathfinder, the computer role-playing game at Kingmaker will be out, I think it's September 25th, I think is the official release date.
I think I saw a commercial for that this week.
Okay, is this Pathfinder the RPG or Pathfinder the card game?
RPG.
Okay.
It's based off the RPG. So if you are not familiar with Pathfinder, you're going to be very confused.
Okay, it's sort of like take 3.5 and mix a little weird stuff with it.
Yep, that's exactly describes it. And if you don't know how to do character generation, you're going to spend a lot of time with that because it's basically the 3.5 Pathfinder character generation. So if you're not familiar with it at all, at least I was familiar with it, so I didn't have that much problems. But anybody that's going into it blind, you're going to have problems.
Oh, how is anyone listening to this show not going to have some?
That's very true.
3.5
Yeah.
I would hope.
These are probably the only people.
Yeah. I would hope everybody that can hear my voice is familiar with 3.5 and the character generation.
They have a very particular set of skills.
Exactly.
That lend to Pathfinder Kingmaker.
If not, I think you're listening to the wrong show. I'm glad you're here. You're probably really confused. Then the only other thing I did video game wise is played 7 Days to Die. We are starting a new mod. It's called the Starvation mod. And oh my god.
Okay. You're playing something called Starvation mod with 7 Days to Die, and you're wondering why it's tough?
Yeah, it's tough doesn't describe it.
That's terrible.
It's everything is out to kill you. Everything.
That's not any
It's
different
7
from
days
normal
to die.
7 days to die.
I mean, a mosquito can kill you.
What, gives you malaria?
Actually, yes.
Okay. Well, at least it's consistent. Then you say, where do I find quinine at?
You can also go crazy. So if you get bit by a wild animal, yes, there's wild animals. There's tigers. More on the tigers in a moment.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was going to be the squirrels that get you with rabies.
You
man.
can go crazy. And when you're starting to go crazy, your character starts laughing. Like maniacal laughing.
Wonderful.
So the whole time you're crazy, you're running around and you're hearing your character laugh like a loony person. And of course, if anybody is near you, they can hear you laughing like a crazy person until you cure your craziness. But yes, there are tigers. I was in town. We have a little small base that we're setting up just for now. It's not our final base. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go. There was a town fairly close by. I'm going to go see if I can't, raid some places and try to get some stuff because I basically have nothing because we just started this server. And I'm running around town. And of course, the first thing I see as I'm running is a cemetery. And I'm like, my favorite place to be. I'm going to go there. So I run down this hill, enter this town, turn the corner to go down the street with the cemetery. As soon as I turn the corner, there's a freaking Bengal tiger in the middle of the road.
A Bengal tiger in the middle of the road.
Bengal tiger.
Yep.
I took one step. It looked at me. It roared. It started to chase me. And I was like, nope. And I ran.
Did you outrun the tiger?
Eventually, I did. It took a while.
It'd be because, let's see. Well, you would have to have a good head start because a tiger is faster in sprinting than a human would be. But long term, if you survive long enough.
Did you have a laser with you? You could do the little red dot and distract the tiger?
Oh, here, look, red dot. Yeah. Oh my God. But no.
Because that would totally work.
This starvation. I don't know whose idea it was to play this, but oh my God, it is like.
It's probably Les's idea.
So that it probably. I blame Lessa for everything. I'm sure it was her. So I go back to the cemetery, and speaking of Lessa, she's like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, come find me. I'm on the map. You can see me. And then so she looks and she's like, of course, you're in the cemetery. Why wouldn't you be? So she comes and we start raiding this town. We almost died several times because, everything is out to kill you. And then we're getting ready to go back. And she's like, oh, there's a car over there. I'm going to go raid that car and see what's in that car because usually cars have some good stuff in it. So as soon as she starts searching the car alarm goes off.
Right.
A mini horde comes. So we take off running because there's like 8 of them. And we're like, nope. We're just nope. A biker joins this mini horde. And if you're familiar with 7 Days to Die, bikers are really, really tough to kill. And in Starvation, they're worse than tough to kill. So we're running. And we were probably, I don't know, I don't even know how far to say. It probably took a good 8 minutes game time to run from this town to where we have our starting base set up. And we're running, and I'm behind Lessa because I had broken my leg, so I can't run very fast. When I was trying to outrun the tiger actually got a couple hits on me and broke my leg. So I'm like limping along. She's like way ahead of me. I'm seeing this biker chase her. This biker chased her the whole way back. It chased her across the map. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. He finally killed himself, and we had some spike traps and stuff set up, and that's what killed him, and then I think she was shooting him too. But I'm just like, that thing followed you a good... It had to take at least 5 minutes to run back game time, and that biker followed her the whole time. It was insane. So yeah.
How does a biker not catch up with her?
She chugged like 2 beers, so she got like speed boost. So she was able to stay just enough far ahead of him, and she didn't want to look back. She's like, I'm not stopping to turn back. Tell me where he's at. And I'm like, he's still there. I'm like, oh, nope, he's still there. It was just insane. I assumed that's like a Starvation mod thing because I have never seen anything follow you for that long. Usually in like vanilla 7 Days to Die, in the Val mod 7 Days to Die that we play, they usually will break off at some point. But no, this thing followed her the whole way back. And there was a bunch of other things that were following, and they eventually broke off, but not the biker.
But did anyone actually starve?
Yes. Because food is really, really hard to come by.
It's just really rare?
Yeah, it's this is just insane. I don't know why we're doing this. I really don't. After like playing this about 4 hours, I'm like, why? Who just why are we doing this to ourselves?
It's finger quotes
massacre.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun, exactly. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Then elsewhere, I did some D&D 5e game prep, more prep for my upcoming game that I have coming up. And then also did some prep for a, I guess, not so secret project. It was kind of, well, it was supposed to be teased on the last Lotro players, but they don't know how to tease on Lotro players apparently. It was pretty much
blabbed.
It was pretty much announced on Lotro players. So yeah, as part of Lotro Players, which is our sister site, if you did not know, we are going to be running a Adventures in Middle-earth 5e game. I'm going to be the lore master, because that's what it's called in Adventures in Middle-earth for that. And I did some prep on that, because we're going to get ready to start that. We're hoping to start this week. And what we're going to do is we're going to release this as a podcast. And we're going to record a couple episodes and then release it, so we have a couple in the can, so people don't have to wait too long between episodes, because this is not going to be an every week thing that we're doing. We haven't decided, exactly how much we're going to play, but this is just kind of a thing that we want to try, and we're not putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. It's not like, we have to play this every week, or we have to get 5 games in a month, or 3 games in a month. We're just going to, play as we have time to play, or when we want to play. So we kind of want to have a couple podcasts kind of in the can, as it were, to release, so then that'll be released over on the Lotro Players speed. So
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Breaking up the play session into nice digestible podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna try to keep it, I think we decided 2 hours, I think, is what we're gonna try to aim for. If we go a little over, we go over. But once again, this is mainly for fun, and most of the people that are playing have never played a role-playing game, much less Dungeons and Dragons. So, and of course, the Adventures in Middle-earth is based off the 5e OGL, so it's 5e with some tweaks, and of course, it's all based in Tolkien, so it's all Middle-earth, and it's fun. And then I'm making some tweaks as well, because there's some things that AIM does that I really don't like that they did, so I'm going to kind of tweak it even more. So it's going to kind of be a hybrid D&D 5e Adventures in Middle-earth homebrew type thing.
My question is, are you going to try to kill all the hobbits?
No, I'm not. They asked me. My reputation precedes me. I think that was thanks to Pineleaf, but no. My goal is to not kill them. Now my other group that I'm going to DM for in November, yes, they are going to, well, I'm going to try to kill them. But in the Adventures in Middle-earth group, I'm not actively trying to kill them. If they die, so be it. But I'm not actively trying to kill them, which is going to be hard for me because that's not my DM style. So it's going to be interesting for me to actually DM where I'm not trying to be the bastard DM and trying to kill everybody.
Kinder, gentler Draculetta.
Yeah,
we open up our first door, and in the other side is Schmog. No.
Exactly. You're level 1. Good luck. Roll for initiative. So how about you, Pineleaf? What did you do in your week in gaming?
I'll begin with my Halfling Paladin, starting at level 17, and we went to Evening Star, where we ran the Druid's Curse series, so Outbreak, Overgrowth, Thorn and Paul, and the Druid's Curse. At the end of Thorn and Paul, I hit that magical thing that says, "Hello, you can go to level 18." So I waited until after Druid's Curse before I actually leveled. Then after that, I decided that I was a bit behind Drac for some reason. Drac somehow always gets more XP than I do. I've never exactly figured out why.
Yeah, we can't quite figure out how this is working, but it is working.
You VIP and he's not?
We're both VIP.
Are you wearing like a voice of the master or that kind of thing?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I am. I wonder if you
Maybe
are.
you have a master's gift.
But because we did not
slotted.
do that area together, so it's possible
Like-
this character doesn't have it.
Oh, I bet that's it. I'll
I
have to
vaguely
look.
remember somebody talking about doing Ruins of Threnel, but that was from podcasts like maybe
I'm
10
now
months ago. So
yeah, now I gotta look. I'm not sure if I have a voice or not. I think I don't know. That might be it though. I bet I might have a voice.
Okay,
Anyway.
we'll have to check that out
Yeah.
if he has a voice, because this is a character that I took to Barovia, but I don't know what I did with that character before then. So yes, that is a good suggestion on there. Is that could be that he is wearing the voice. So because he's getting this 10% extra, probably from the voice, I decided that I needed to catch up a little bit, so I took the character to the harbor and ran Sinister Storage in the Demon's Den, Finding the Path, and I Dream of Jeets.
wow.
So I went to the inspiration, into the inspired corner there.
I am impressed, sir.
That's yeah, I am too.
Oh, why?
Well done, Pine Leaf. That's so many quests.
Yes.
And it's like towards cap. Like you got to be getting really close to cap now.
Well, yeah, I'm level 18.
Yeah, what are you going to do when you hit 20?
Oh, we are TRing because
Yeah, these were the characters. The whole point is we're going to TR down to level 1, and then we're going to play our quote name. So he's going to be on a Pine Leaf. I'm going to be on a Draculetta.
Oh.
right.
And my Drac was already 20. So, but his Pine Leaf wasn't, so he's trying to get his Pine Leaf up, and I'm just playing with like another character as I'm waiting for him to level. And then we're going to go down to 1, and then...
I thought this might be that like you were going to push through and somehow get to epic Ravenloft.
That might be after we TR. I'm kind of pushing for that.
Yeah, because we want to be on characters that we have this...
Yeah,
because I don't want to do epic TR on a paladin. I mean epic Ravenloft on a paladin. So
yeah, we just for some reason we realized. I mean, not that this really matters, but we hardly ever play on like I'm hardly ever on my like character that's Drac, and he's hardly ever on his Pine Leaf, and we're like, why don't we ever play on characters that are like I said, our names that are known in the like I said, it really doesn't matter. It's just something that we thought about, and it's like we just hatched this plan. It's like, okay, so let's get these characters up to 20, and I was already at 20 anyway, and we just decided, okay, let's get these characters to 20, and then we'll start over at 1, and we'll TR, and then we'll just play those characters, and then we'll see if we can maybe get to 30 at some point or whatever. We'll see.
I would suggest if you're like level 18, you'd continue doing the quests that are with Finding the Path and I Dream of Jeets. I think you've done these before, and
we have on different characters.
You go to the Dreaming
yes.
Dark.
Yes.
If you do the Dreaming Dark 3 times, you get an option of getting Ion Stones, and when you reincarnate, those things are level 4, so they can be useful when you reincarnate as low-level gear that can add nice ability scores. So typically you have to upgrade them for them to be really fancy. But you might, I mean, if you do enough of the Dreaming Dark, you could get enough stuff to upgrade one after about maybe 6 runs, I think. They're nice.
I guess we've never been thinking in terms of multiple runs on
anything.
Before.
Right,
Yes.
But that is one thing that is worth doing just if you're reincarnating, because it's one of those weird things where you can only get it usually. I mean, sometimes you can randomly get it in RNG, but I mean, like Drax's never going to have that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
that
like,
ain't
finally, if you could possibly get like some random an Ion Stone as random loot, but to upgrade them, you have to do this level 18 to 20 quest, but the minimum level on them is 4. So it's like this weird loot situation where you can only get it upper levels, but you can start using it. It's most useful at low levels.
I'm trying to think, what character do I have that does have an Ion Stone? Because I know I have one that has, but I think it was probably the least useful for my particular character. So.
There is that one level 15 Ion Stone that comes out of one of the level 15 Wayland quests.
Well, I wouldn't have gotten it then because It probably, well, that's unless it was one of those rare characters that actually did
It's-
Wayloon.
It's the pale green Ion Stone, I think, is level 15, but the rest of them are level 4.
Okay. Then that is what I did in DDO. Then in Minecraft, I ran the base race for September. And the September base race, it has a theme of safety. And during this base race, I'm being followed around by Gary the Safety Potato.
What?
Safety potato?
Safety potato, yes. And every once in a while, what happens is Gary turns a color based on the type of mob that's in the area. So if Gary turns green, there are zombies nearby, turns white, then there are skeletons in the area.
So it's like Dungeon Alert Potato.
Yeah, Dungeon Alert Potato, yes. So therefore, I've got this potato following me, and every once in a while, giving us advice such as look both ways before you cross the street. And
Really?
yeah, so yeah, it's sort of weird. So having the safety potato following me around,
Gary, the safety
potato. Yeah, the creator was certainly in a weird mood when he thought of that one.
Sure, why not?
And the item that I took, because whenever you do base race, each character chooses an item, a beneficial item, and something that could be potential enemy, I guess you could say. So therefore, this is all based on UHCs. You're familiar with UHCs?
No.
You're not familiar with the well. Are you familiar with hardcore mode in Minecraft?
Just from what you talked about.
Okay. Well, in this case, we're not actually in hardcore. What the UHC rule is basically is you set on a mode, because originally it was a mod, but the switch was eventually implemented by Mojang in the base game, and that is that you could only increase your health through special regeneration effects. There is no natural regeneration. So therefore, if you eat, it does not help you to regen your health. The only thing that would help you would be something like a potion. Now, golden apple, since they give you a regen effect, will be able to regen you. And drinking potions of health would, not that I ran into anything like a potion of health throughout the entire thing. So you had those things which you needed to do. Now, I did not eat a golden... Actually, no, I think I might have actually did wind up eating one in the end, because I found one and I made one. So therefore, I was able to... So I did try one out. I think it might even be the first time I ever ate a golden apple in the game. So therefore, that was a little bit of thing going all over the place, listening to Gary, the safety potato. And then, of course, the base race is effectively a scavenger hunt where you're trying to find 27 different items that are specified in there. And some of them you need a specific number of them, and on others you need one item. And at the end of the race, you can then go and do a build using the items that you collected.
What kind of things are they having you race for?
Let's see. This month, let's see. Stripped jungle wood, which is this is the first full base race that's being run under 1.13. So therefore, they had at least one item that was strictly 1.13. That's the stripped jungle wood, which is one of the new things because stripped items didn't exist in the past. Then we have coarse dirt, which that's an old one. White wool, that's you can easily find a sheet for that. Quartz blocks, that means you have to go into the nether. Birch log, well, I know that's probably one of the easiest ones. Cobble, I know that's ridiculously easy. Some of them are in there because the idea there is not going to have us build something without having something like cobble in there, something like this. So some of them are there for being a challenge, like the having to go into the nether for the quartz. And other things are in there because you're going to need some basic building blocks if you're going to be able to do a decent build. Some purple terracotta.
Terracotta?
And in order to get purple dye, you need to have lapis. Okay. You need to get lapis. And then
I was like, but terracotta is all terracotta. How does that work? But you're dyeing it. Okay.
Yeah, you find some... Well, usually, since I don't think there's a mesa anywhere, I went having to collect 32 clay balls and put them together, turn that into clay, then bake the clay in order to turn it into terracotta, and then you put dye in it. A magma block, which In 1.13, you can get magnet blocks from the water. But since I was going into the nether anyway, I decided I'd get mine from the nether. Some andesite, easy to get. A redstone lamp, which meant going into the nether to get some glowstone. Spruce leaves. Okay, yeah, find it. There's a taiga nearby. Gray carpet. It means either finding a gray sheep or finding gray dye to mix with wool.
How do they spell gray?
With an E.
Well, there you go.
You got to remember is that that Minecraft is made by a Swedish company.
Yeah, well, that's my approved spelling.
Yeah.
Way to go, Minecraft.
Okay. A dispenser. That means getting some string so that you can make a bow for it. Unless you manage to get a bow, of course. A lava bucket. Lots and lots of gravel. Brown concrete. And in order to get brown, you have to get cocoa beans, which means going into a jungle.
Wait, they got buckets for lava?
Well, you could...
It's got to be one hell of a bucket.
What is it made out of? I mean, because it's carrying the hot stuff. Is it like an asbestos bucket?
Well, no, you need a suspension of belief since it is an iron bucket. But yeah, I know you're saying, how is an iron bucket going to hold lava? I have no idea.
Really? And does the safety potato have anything to say about carrying the hot bucket?
Strangely enough, the safety potato made no comment about that. See, we have...
I still can't get over the safety potato thing. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole safety potato thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yes, right. So you need some smooth stone. You need mossy cobble walls, diorite, 32 pieces of diorite, 8 nether bricks, so more stuff from the nether. At first, I was thinking they were asking for red nether bricks. I said, don't tell me I have to find a fortress. But fortunately, it was just regular nether bricks, so I could just... So that was... Get into the nether, you could get enough netherrack to make nether brick. 5 redstone blocks, which means finding lots of redstone, which is always fun finding that. 4 iron bars. Okay, yeah, that's just iron. Jungle trapdoors. Okay, had to go into a jungle anyway for the cocoa. Lapis block. Well, I needed that lapis for the purple dye, so I guess I had to find lapis anyway. The lapis, of course, whenever there's lapis involved in the base phrase, it's usually the last thing I find because I always have trouble finding lapis. A diamond sword and a golden apple.
That's quite the combo.
Yeah, so you got to find all these things all over the place in the world or make them or whatever. But then if you make them, like for example, making the diamond sword, well, first you have to find some diamonds.
Probably a lot of diamonds because it's the sword.
It needs 2 diamonds.
Is it like just on the hilt of the sword, or it's literally made out?
No. It is literally the hard point of the sword that's made of the diamond.
Those are big diamond.
Hmm?
Big diamonds.
Yeah, big diamonds. Yeah. Well, Minecraft is always odd on a few things like that.
Safety potatoes notwithstanding.
Safety potatoes notwithstanding, yes. And in my railroad build series, I finally finished my central hub, which means I was able to finally start building my railroad track out in my first direction. So I'll be spending some time laying down track for a while because I'm going out to 1,024 blocks in each of the 4 directions. So I'm going to need a lot of railroad tracks, which means a lot of iron. So good luck in that. And then in my Atomic Islands series, I did some exploration around trying to find a warm ocean because where I spawned at was in the middle of this massive frozen ocean. All the ocean near and all the places I was searching and building all my things for the atomic stuff were frozen oceans. I get icebergs all over the place. And a lot of the ideas I had really needed to be in less frozen areas. For example, my hydrogen build, I wanted to have was going to be an aquarium, and I wanted to have some coral there. You can imagine you can't find coral in a frozen ocean. Coral just doesn't like cold places for some reason. So therefore, I went all this exploring, and I finally found a warm ocean and a coral reef. And I went all over the place. I was going in a circle. I said, okay, I'll just wind back this way, even though it's almost zero chance of me finding a warm ocean there. And Wow, I actually ran into one on my way back, and whew, finally.
Like the last place you looked.
Well, yeah, especially since it was where I originally spawned. If I went east, where since I was closer to the east shore, that's why naturally I went there since I was going towards islands. If it went east, then I go right into frozen ocean and all that stuff. It turned out if I went west southwest, before too long, I would have gotten to an ocean which would start to be charting, okay, a regular ocean, not too far and past that. I'd go into a lukewarm ocean, then to a warm ocean. So therefore, if I had gone in the opposite direction, then I would have gotten the type of temperatures I was looking for. And of course, all the current tools that they have for Minecraft, for mapping and stuff like that, none of them supports showing you what the temperature is of various oceans yet. I guess no one's figured out the algorithm for it yet. So therefore I had to find this out the hard way. And I had gone way, way south and east and looped around, and that eventually forced me, and wanting to make sure I returned in a different direction and on a more watery route is what forced me towards the direction that eventually led me into these warm oceans. Yay, I finally found it. In Wellstopia, season 4 started finally, and that means I've recorded my first episode. I haven't posted yet. Now, for season 4 of Wellstopia, I am going to be building the town of Saltmarsh and the items that appear in the module for the sinister secret of Saltmarsh. So I'll be doing that module. And if I finish all of that, then there are always the other 2 modules that go in the series. So we finally started the new season, and I found a bit of a swampy area, which I thought would be, if you're in a town called Swamp Marsh, I presume that there is a nearby swamp, or Salt Marsh. Salt Marsh, I assume that there's a swamp nearby. So therefore, I put it there. And near the swamp is right at a river, so it's a bit of a bayou here. In addition to that is this island, which is on firmer ground. And I figured it's a peninsula. And this peninsula, I think, will be a perfect location, I think, for the main village, which I'll be building. So therefore, I found a nice, good location for Salt Marsh, and I will, of course, have to start looking for a nice place with a haunted house, because you can't have the sinister secret of Salt Marsh without a haunted house, right? And so that will probably take me a little bit while, because usually a Wellstopia season lasts about a year, so about how long I'm going to guess that I have in order to build all this stuff. And in tabletop, I played another round of the Lord of the Rings card game, running Journey along the Undoing again. This time I was running with a slightly tweaked deck over the one I had last time, and just like the previous deck I had, I got squashed. So I'm going to need I'll probably have to give myself a little handicap and see if I could eventually finish this particular quest in here. We'll see how it goes, but right now I did get past the troll this time. So that's good news. I got past the troll, and I was actually in the second section in there where you're going down the river, and I forgot how far I got along to it, but yeah, inevitably, I just ran out of time because the threat value, the shadow value just kept on creeping up and up and up and up and up, and yeah, I died. So Bonnie, what did you do?
A lot of Shroudpalooza related things. I did streaming with Even. We did Veil of Twilight Quest on Galanda and Orion, and I think next stream with Even we'll continue doing that on Orion. And I rolled my daily dice on all the servers for a change because we had that double daily dice bonus. So I actually logged in to everybody on all the servers.
Bonus?
There was a daily dice bonus. I think it's over now. This might have been the last day.
Oh,
I think yesterday was the last day.
Yeah, I think it ended.
When you roll the daily dice, you get double XP.
I didn't remember there being an announcement of that. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, best days is double daily dice days. Free XP. What's not to love? That was my DDO stuff.
I could have used that when I was.
Yeah,
actually, I would
especially on your level 18 character as a VIP, you could get a juicy XP stone off of a double daily dice roll.
Okay,
free roll.
When you say it's a double roll, what does that mean exactly?
Well, normally, say if it's your silver roll.
Yeah.
If you rolled like a low number and got 100 XP stone, instead of a 100 XP stone, you would get a 200 XP stone.
Okay, so they doubled the amount. So it's possible that when I was running over the weekend that I may have gotten in, I just didn't realize it.
Right. Because
Yeah,
some of the
if you-
values are equal to a previous value. It's more obvious when you do a gold roll because the numbers are so big.
Yeah, I always try to, if I know that's coming up and maybe I haven't already done my gold, I will do my gold then because it really pays off.
Oh yeah, the trouble is though in that is that whenever I do that, I wind up losing a week's gold roll
Exactly,
because of the way
yep.
things are
'Cause
doing.
it-
So
'cause it
therefore,
throws everything
it cancels
off.
it out.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Lotro where it's a set day of the week where it reactivates it. It instead,
It goes from the time you last rolled.
yeah.
Well, that was my D&D actual logging into DDO business. I started reading the Starfinder campaign setting because I'm going to be participating in a campaign using Starfinder in a couple months from now. And I played.
Now is that is Starfinder
It's
a
like
science fiction version of Pathfinder or
yeah,
what?
pretty much. It's a really neat campaign setting, and I like the story and the world building of where it's set, and they have alien races and there are starships and that kind of stuff. So it's really cool, but it does also pull some legacy elements from Pathfinder into the game, and it's also the character building is based on 3.5, so it's another situation where DDO players have a particular set of skills that mean they can pick up how this actually works to build a character. But it looks like a lot of fun. I'm really interested in the setting. It's like I like reading the lore anyhow, and these kind of setting books, even if I'm not playing. And this was one that I really enjoyed reading stuff about the history of the setting and what's going on with all the different planets and races and that kind of thing. So it's enjoyable even if I wasn't playing it. I finally played 7 Days to Die.
What?
Or 7 minutes to die is what I'm calling it.
Oops.
I've only played it a couple hours, but I think I've pretty much survived about 40 minutes. And the first time a dog ate me, and I really didn't want to fight the dog. I kind of felt bad for the dog because like the dog has to deal with zombies and it's probably starving and it needs a win, so you can eat me and I'll just start over. And then I got killed by a bird in the second round I tried, but I got farther because I understood more about what was going on and stuff. But I don't think I'm going to live very long whenever I play it.
We got to
like
get
really
you
early days
on our server, not the stupid starvation hardcore. Why are we playing this server? But our other server, we're going to have to get you on that server.
So far, I've mainly just been cutting a lot of grass down and chopping a lot of wood. And
Yep,
just
that's what
doing
you do in the old
stuff.
early days.
I'm only getting up. I think it might even be tutorial kind of quests because I get up to the point where I'm supposed to go find a trader, and that's when I start going off from like where you start in the standard world, and I start having to fight things and kill them, and I get into trouble. But I do like cutting, getting all the little resources and scrounging around and getting stuff. So it was fun, but I'm not going to be very good at surviving, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it's
7 minutes to die.
7 minutes to die. I like it.
Well, you might get yourself all the way up to 7 hours to die at some point.
Maybe if I play my cards right and start killing dogs and birds. Those birds are mean. It's like they saw me. It was like a vulture or something. But
yeah,
it was an
those
attack
vultures
vulture.
suck. Oh, those vultures suck
I'm like, I'm
bad.
not dead. At first, I thought it was going after a zombie I just killed, but no, it was after me, and it hurt my feelings. I leveled up my character for D&D night, Goth Hobbit. Goth Hobbit is now level 4.
Oh, I gotta level up.
So when we have our next session on September 23rd, I should be ready. And then the only other thing I played this week was Idle Champions, which is celebrating its first anniversary. So there's some extra kind of special event stuff where login kind of rewards for every day that you log in and claim your reward, you get some nice fancy epic prizes. And if you log in 4 days straight, you get a mimic familiar, which is nice and useful, and it's very cute because it's wrapped up in a shiny red bow.
I'm gonna have to log in then.
I don't know how many more days it's going on.
If it's less than 4.
I'm gonna say I
don't
hope there's
know.
4 left.
I'm not sure there's 4 days left. I mean, I feel like they should, because normally their events last for more than a week.
Well, yeah, usually.
But I haven't seen that many days on the calendar right now. And it's maybe the 5th day in. I think it started last Thursday or Friday. And that was my week in gaming.
Whee! We all had busy weeks then, sounds like.
It sounds like it, yes.
We currently have 20 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or be guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And Track, are the new patron rewards ready?
No. Soon. Trademark
Soon.
Soon. Oh, well. Oh, we will soon have our new patron rewards, but we don't know them yet. So therefore, if you would like to send us some suggestions, or can they still send them?
Sure, if you want to.
Very well. And you can send that to what?
Drac at DDO Players.
And if you have anything else to send us, you can send it to podcast at ddoplayers.com. And you could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Draculetta_72, and Pineap at Pineap Needles. And you can follow Twitch at Draculetta_72. And Bonnie, how can they reach you? Yeah.
Can't reach me. You can follow me on Twitter at Bonnie View. And you can, I think if you email Eritricos at shroudpalooza@gmail.com, you might be able to reach me too. I mean, hopefully he'll pass on an email.
We'll see.
But he is
Depends
evil,
on his Harry's
so...
mood. Yeah.
So you never know. He might just keep that information and use it against you later.
Oh, poor Harry. The Players Alliance has 4 shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lojo Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Chromatic Bits. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineap Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.